It's 30 degrees today. It's absolutely baking. I nearly couldn't be bothered to actually come out because I've got all this gear on. I thought, can I be asked to actually come out and ride the bike? And I thought, hang on a minute, I've got a Super Duke sat in the garage here. I've got to ride it. I cannot not ride it. So here I am in rush hour out on the Duke. I do love this thing. I was reading the KTM sent me the press pack for this last night, and I was reading through it all just to learn about those little things which you're not necessarily aware of. Yeah, there's some cool little features on here that I didn't know about. Like, for instance, you suppose you want an example now. The front headlight, we all know it's got that really clever LED system. If you go through this tree cover, for example, up here, the main low beam comes on as well. So it's clever. It doesn't just leave the outer ring illuminated. If you go through a low light situation, it'll put the low beam on. It's little touches like that, which are really smart. You can link your phone to it, so if you get a call, it'll come up with who's calling you. Any text messages will come up to say you've got an alert. I don't think you can actually read the text messages, reply, but it's got nice little features like that. I think if you're playing audio, it will tell you what track you're playing and stuff like that. Nice little touches, well thought out touches. Also, I've been quite surprised at how fuel efficient this is. I was really expecting to be seriously out of pocket in the fuel department. After running the 701, which really sips fuel, I thought, wow, riding these big juicy bikes, I'm going to be spending a fortune on petrol. But this is, I was surprised that the Tuono was as good on fuel as it was. Now, I've been even more impressed with this, being a big 1300 fuel efficiency. You know, it's obviously not top of your priorities when you buy a bike like this, but I've been really impressed with it. Look at that, 50 miles an hour instantly. Oh, it can be a lazy man's bike. You've got the quick shifter, you've got the blipper. If you add it, it is an extra. But this one has, so you can just blip along, quick shift, be lazy. It's too hot today for whizzing around, and it's fine on this. You can just sit back, treat this as a bit of a grand tour almost on these nice little roads. Just go out exploring without the need to be going, you know, hell for leather. I think that is what a good road bike has to be. It has to do both those things. If it can't, if it can only go hell for leather, then it's not a good road bike. The Tuono, yes, you can also poodle on that. Its low speed manners are great. It's not quite as comfortable as this, but it's more than comfortable enough for the road. I absolutely love that bike, and I really don't think I'm any closer, despite having this for 4 days and doing a few miles on this. I really don't think I'm any closer to deciding which one I prefer the most. I still don't know. They're that close. They're that different, but they're that close. The electronics on this one, I will do a full electronics review, as I promised, like I did on the Tuono, but I don't think they're as user-friendly. It takes a little bit longer to get used to it. You have to go into certain modes to unlock and be able to turn off, like the anti-wheelie, whereas on the Tuono and the R34 you can just turn it off in any mode. It doesn't make no difference. You can adjust the traction control in any mode. You can just adjust everything in any mode. You don't have to be in a particular mode to then be able to turn things off. For example, I have wheelie control off on this. I love it. If you've got one of these, you want to do a few wheelies on it, don't you? Surely that's why you bought it. So you have to go track mode to turn off the anti-wheelie. Well, in track mode, which is what I'm in now, you get a red full speedo, just to let you know you're in track mode. But you've got no clock in track mode. It's telling you about your adjustable traction control, which you can adjust up and down with the buttons. How much slip you want on the rear wheel. But you're in track mode, so things like the clock have gone. Now, I'd love a clock. I'd love to see what the time is. I've always got to be back. see the message, oh, make sure you're back at 5. So I love having a clock, so I know what the time is. So I can either wheelie, or I can have a clock. Oh, again, I don't know which is best for wheelies, this or the Tuono. They're so close. The Tuono was very easy to wheelie, 3rd gear, 50 mile an hour, bit of clutch, job's a good one, your wheels are waggling. This is probably a bit easier, I think. Where am I? I don't know where I am. See, this is the beauty, just come out and explore. This, I think, is a bit easier. This, you can do 70 mile an hour wheelies in 3rd, clutch ups. No bother, all on a private road, of course. You cannot do that sort of thing on the public highway. Do not be ridiculous. Oh look, illuminated. Oh, the switchgear. And this side, it's all illuminated. How nice. Both sides illuminated. That is a nice touch. I wasn't expecting everything to be illuminated. The horn, the start there, that's nice. That's nice. That's a nice touch. Illuminated switchgear. I score some brownie points. Oh, this is so nice just to be out, just to be cruising around, no stress. This is a great bike for doing that on. Are you racing me, mate? I can't quite work it out. Are you trying to race me? I don't know. Oh, let him go. Out of my way. I don't want to see your back end of an Audi throughout the whole video. Let him go. Let him go. We will let him go. They've also done a lot of work on the engine on this bike this year. DLC coated rockers, titanium valves, reworking the balancing shafts on this engine to make it really smooth. They've also, as well as giving it another 500 revs and another 4 brake horsepower, they've also made it much more fuel efficient, 10% more fuel efficient than last year. Oh, so comfortable, I'm falling asleep on it. You don't have to thrash it, just use the torque. It's just got 120, no, this is 140 newton meters of torque. 140, it's ridiculous. 115 of which is available for 4,000 revs. Those sort of figures, it is just insane. I don't know. I honestly don't know which bike is best, this or the Tuono. I don't think one is better than the other. I know people are going to ask me which one is the best. I don't think you can answer that. They're different sorts of bikes. It's like saying which is best, the RSV4 or the MT10. It's like, well, no, they're not really the same, mate. You can't really compare them. They're not trying to do the same thing. I'm going to pull over here. Ah, look at the view. Let's shut her down. Oh, it's a lovely, lovely evening. But it's also got the keyless ignition, which is another little feature. So you have to have the key within 1.5 meters of the bike, and then all you do, so I've got it in my pocket here, you just sit on the bike, press the key button, it turns on. If I didn't have the key on me, obviously it wouldn't turn on. Then you just put the kill switch down, hold it down, let's just do it for the sake of argument, and start the bike. Bike off. And that also works the petrol cap and the steering lock. So you put the bars to the left. Oh no, I remember now. Remember the press pack, Chopsy. You hold that down. There you go, I heard it move, and the steering lock's on. So you hold the key button down, steering lock now intact. You ain't got to mess about your keys. Keys in my pocket. The only downside is the key's quite big, and it's not in my pocket. Yes, alright, I'm talking to myself, okay? None of your business. Look at that. What is it for? What do you actually need the key for? Why has it got this? It must be to lift the seat. Yeah, it must be to lift the seat. Because there's no. I'd like a backup lock on that in case this stopped working. You could still get into the fuel cap, because that worries me. If that breaks, that little mechanism that locks that, when you're out for a ride, you need fuel. Oh, what are you going to do? Sexy. Sexy. I want to connect my phone to the bike. So let's go into the options. Bluetooth is on. Audio, there we go. Setup, phone, pairing. Let's go into pairing mode. Lambchop Rides. Lambchop Rides. Ooh, that's me. There's a massive dead fly just landed on there. Get off. We're paired to a KTM Super Duke. We're done. We're done. How cool's that? Lambchop Rides. KTM Super Duke is requesting permission to access your contacts. Shall we allow him? Yes. There you go. Phone's connected. My phone is now connected to my bike. Well, that was easy. That worked really well. Oh, getting too hot there, stopped. Let's get some airflow. So yeah, my phone's connected, so I'm interested to see what it does. I've come back out of track mode just to see if it only works, because when you're in track mode I don't expect it's going to show you your phone notifications. When you're flying around the track you're not too interested when your missus says can you bring in some chicken for tea. You know, you've got other things on your mind, so I don't think it will display the notifications when you're in track mode. So I've gone back into normal mode, which means I can't have the anti-wheelie off, so I can't do any more wheelies now. So I've had to come out of track mode. It's a niggle. I don't like it. It's a niggle.